Yes, everyone, what's happening? I thought, what's the point really in doing a review of that game? Because it was rubbish, wasn't it, if we're being honest with ourselves? So I thought, let's just have a Q&A. Let's see how everyone's doing and have a chat about whatever everybody wants to have a chat about. So get your questions in, all the rest of that sort of stuff. I think my hay fever might have just kicked in. Nightmare. I'll briefly touch on that while everyone's getting their questions charged in. I thought United maybe got the team selection wrong on that. I thought Dan James was put. I thought the whole attacking sort of lineup for United, Rashford through Bruno through Mason Greenwood, I thought all of them were quite poor. I thought Dan James was the pick of how poor they were, to be honest with you. Bit of a poor one. Man of the match today for United, probably Maguire. If I'm being honest, I thought Maguire. So in my preview, we was talking about being able to play through the pressure and someone that could get the ball into that midfield area and beat that first wave of a press. Leeds didn't press that hard because they kind of sat off us a little bit, but what we were doing was using Maguire to charge into midfield to create that overload ourselves, which is quite a smart thing to do. I might write that down and use that on myself. I thought Ollie had a bit of a one there. Ross says Wan-Bissaka was his man of the match. Interesting one, I guess. Notch says Rick Parry's bringing up Project Big Picture again. Hasn't this week been bad enough? I know. And I would also add to that, it seems to me a bit like the Project Big Picture stuff was a very much a precursor to the Super League that was coming. So I'm not sure what all that's about. I think that's bad overall. I think that's really, really bad overall. I'm not sure why people are wanting that to go through, but I guess that's what it is. Would I start Pogba central or wide against Roma? It's a good question. I haven't watched enough of Roma yet. By Wednesday, when the preview goes out, I'll have a decision. Was Ollie a coward in making subs? I don't know if I'd say coward. I thought Cavani should have come on earlier. I'd have brought Cavani on earlier. With Pogba, I think Pogba's fasting, and we've got some players fasting for Paddock, and the lads, obviously these aren't elite athletes, but they're also not playing at the same intensity that they're playing in the Premier League, and these lads are empty. After 30, 40 minutes, it looks very, very difficult for them, so it needs managing. So that might have been a reason for Paul Pogba, but I think you could have put Cavani on a lot earlier, to be honest with you. What do I think of us realistically signing a striker in the window? I'd rather not really sit here and talk about transfers, to be honest, because honestly, who the fuck knows? I think there's going to be so much in the air this summer about how that could go. Let's just chill on that one, I say. Where do we need to strengthen the most? We need to strengthen in several areas. I think you need to find a world-class number 6, and that can be either the Thomas Partey and Didi Kante kind of role, or that can be someone like a Sal Niguez or a more ball-playing Michael Carrick sort of style one, if you prefer. Who's my non-favourite? My favourite non-British club, Athletic Bilbao, because I love that they stand for something. Or otherwise, maybe Ajax, because again, they sort of stand for something. Otherwise, we desperately need a right winger. We desperately need a number 9 if Cavani's going to go. And I could make a case for another centre half as well, to be honest with you. Is Maguire suspended in the league now? No. Is it true that Cavani's going at the end of the season? Greatest number 7 since Ronaldo. He did break the curse, to be fair to him, but I have no idea. I would guess that he is, based off the fact that his old man's been talking in the press. That usually is a pretty good one. What do I think was realistically signing? A transfer? Oh, yeah. Clean sheet Paddock, how good does that sound? I can't believe me and Cam have just watched the highlights from yesterday's game. We were going to put them out tomorrow, but if we get enough comments now from people saying, yeah, post it today, we will post the highlights this afternoon. So let me know if you want us to post the Paddock highlights. Spoiler alert, don't listen to the next 5 seconds if you don't want to know the score, but it was 4-0. We probably put in our best performance of the season so far. Massive swing from last week. I think as it stands now, me and Cam were sort of just looking at the possible permutations for how we can qualify for the second round. I think if we win both of our remaining games, we should be into the quarterfinals. So that's obviously the target, but one game at a time, because if we don't win this game, it's game over. What do I think with a 4-3-3 with Pogba and Bruno? With McTominay has to sit. McTominay's not good enough to sit there, and he's certainly not got the ball playing ability to sit there. Not in every game, at least. Pep's team have only 3 players in his team today. Today's match before he arrived at City. Everyone else is bought. Why can't we do that? We've still got players from Fergie's era. Golden Axe says, so glad I found Paddock, such an amazing channel. Proper footy fans. I'm 40, so Rotterdam is still my favourite game. Brilliant. Opinion on Axel? It was a big season for him, and I don't think he took the chance. And I wouldn't be surprised if his chance has passed now, to be honest with you. He could have done it. It seemingly doesn't look like he has. Amaya says, I was wondering, why do people become crazy negative when we lose or draw and crazy hysterical when we win, like we will in 21 when we win? I don't know. I can't answer that. It's frustrating, I would say. Let me find the rest of that video. What was we missing today, according to you? You just come up against a team that was sitting back. We maybe could have had Pogba, but if you didn't have Pogba, you've still got Donny van de Beek, who can do you a job. And maybe that would have been the better option instead of Pogba. I think we're just missing a bit of quality in the final third. Do I think Maguire needs to work on his finishing on corners? See him a lot in great positions, but very often off target. I think United need to work on having more options at corners. And I reckon you don't go from being as deadly as he was and as efficient as he was at those to being how he is at United overnight. I think I think he's probably still very good, but everyone knows he's very good, so he gets marked. And what we're seeing is the result of him being marked out of those games. Harry Kane and Didi, why would I take, or who would I take? I'm assuming. Probably Ndidi out of those, but I don't think they're the best ones. Could Axel maybe transition to a centre mid for us? I don't think so. Thoughts on Masvidal versus Usman fight and is Colby Usman's toughest test? I don't know if Colby is Usman's toughest test. Usman is an absolute gangster. Last night's UFC was crazy. Fans being back in there was a massive thing. Weidman breaking his leg like that, insane. Oh, it feels like we're almost out of the woods a bit, doesn't it? Like, it was a great card. Great card. How did Paddock get on this weekend and when's the video out? Let me know in the comments. Do you want the video as soon as I finish this? Because I can post it as soon as I finish this if there's enough of you say. Let's get to 1,000 likes. Get 1,000 likes and I'll post it as soon as this video finishes. And how many members to get green and gold Paddock kit? I think the response was pretty good. Obviously, I kind of let the cat out of the bag before, but we do have a meeting with our manufacturer tomorrow. So I will be asking them, can we do it? We've already sort of had that conversation. We need to know the actual mechanics of that conversation because obviously the manufacturer needs to sign off on it. And we'd have to have the design approved. And with it being a pre-order, it's serious cash that we'd have to put down, which we don't necessarily have. So there's a lot of moving parts that we'd have to figure out. But there was a lot of people really interested in the green and gold kit. We will do our best to see if we can make it happen because I think there's a bit of a desire to see it happen at the moment. But let me know in the comments, you know, are you interested in it? We basically have to sell hundreds of them to make it work. So talk to us, let us know. Do I still watch rugby league? Yes, just not as religiously as I once did, perhaps. Ian says, yes, post it. If Pogba is fast enough, we even get in top 4. Well, there's only 2 more weeks. And yeah, we're not going to lose just because he's not playing. He's not played that often, has he? Post it. Loads of people saying, yeah, post the highlights. Post it. Is Lindelof a better ball-playing defender than Maguire given his range? I would say different, not necessarily better. Did Leeds change their style to negate United from the counter today? Yes, they did. They sat way, way, way deeper. Post it today. One person says tomorrow. Opinions on Cal the Dragon. I don't know. Have the loot boxes been posted? Yes, you should be getting yours if you're one of the loot box recipients. Where was that one gone? Does winning the cup promote Paddock? Not officially, but this league seems to go through a lot of restructures. Obviously, I'm pretty brand new to the league, and I think if we want to be in a position to promote, winning the cup and beating Premier League teams to do so would be the best option we could have, isn't it? I mean, it's the best argument at least that we can have. Hey, look, we just beat loads of Premier League teams to win this thing. How's about it? I think if they do a restructure, there's a possibility that we'll get caught up in that, but we have to be better than we were the previous 2 weeks. This weekend we were great, and you'll see in the highlights some of the goals are absolutely filthy. So definitely go and check it out if you get a chance. Today was a throw in the towel. Matic and Mata should be the first ones to leave, not even Lingard. Wait, I don't understand that comment. Thoughts on the fans who are against the anti-Glazer protest? Are there any fans that are anti the protest? I haven't seen any people like that. There might be some people on Twitter who are, but is there any real people that are saying don't protest? I would be shocked if there was any real people that are saying that. Opinion on Menge? I think he's fantastic. Ross Murphy, late Johan Cruyff turns 74 today. Who in a Paddock shirt plays like him? Like Johan Cruyff? No one off the top of my head. Closest, I'd say no, but no one. Isaac, possibly. Isaac or Kira, possibly. Any football book recommendations? Hundreds. Start with Soccernomics. Can Greenwood develop into a lone striker? 100%. He just needs to put on some size. Am I going to the protest on Sunday? Probably yes. More than likely yes. Thoughts on Bamford as a 9, or is Calvert-Lewin better? I think Calvert-Lewin is better. When will Rashford ever get a decent rest? When he retires? Thoughts on young players who can pull through? Mengi, Laird, Garner, Levitt. We will be doing a youth review next week or the week after, talking about that exact topic. Do I think Rice or Neves would fit this team better? I think Neves. Would I like Basuma at United? I would. Felt sorry for Weidman. Imagine being in the cage twice when that freak of a leg break has happened. Madness. I don't think Axel has a chance at United, Steve. As I said earlier, I think he might have let it go. Can we make Stretford Paddock the new AFTV? No. I'd rather be sensible and talk about stuff than just reactionary. It's frustrating Ollie gets called clueless after this type of performance. He does. I think he got the selection wrong, and I think he could have changed it with subs, though. So you can't say he's immune to criticism from today's game. But you have to understand what you criticise and why. When can we fly and escape this shit? When we can fly and escape this shit show, where are you going? I really want to take Janine and Baby on a beach holiday somewhere. I couldn't think of anything worse a couple of years ago. When Jaden was a baby, I was still in army mode, and you're fucking mental. And it never would have made sense to me then. But watching Blake and being around a lot more and seeing how she is, I think I could really understand why people go on like Mediterranean beach holidays. I couldn't think of anything worse usually, but I think I get it now. Why does Rashford get so much disrespect? Don't know. Is the lockdown rut finally lifting for you? I think this weekend it felt like it has. Whether it actually has or not, it did feel like it really was. Too many think it's Ollie and not the quality of the performance or the players on the pitch. Correct. Do I think the Glazers used to go to Epstein's Island? Wow. I couldn't possibly comment because I think that's probably libelous. You feel free to think what you like, though. Where can I become a member of my channel? I think you can join below. It's just the same as joining on Patreon, though. If you want to support the channel, Patreon and Discord's the best move for that. If I could have any player from the 99 team back for us now, who would I go? I'd have Bex. I think with the way we're playing, I don't necessarily think it would suit Bex. I'm taking Yapstam, I think, out of that team. If Axel has I think Axel has a future here, but do you agree? I think this season was pivotal, and I don't necessarily think he's taken the chance. Will our summer spending be impacted from the ESL fallout? Probably not as much as from the ESL fallout as the potential, possible, probable, potential sale of the club. Put a video up, please. Hopefully, green and gold kit comes through. I'm down for it. Congratulations on the win. Great job. Keep going, Paddock. Thank you very much, Brad. We have to be better at set plays. What's my thoughts? Completely agree. Someone DM'd me on Twitter this afternoon. I didn't notice it during the game, and I am going to go back and watch the highlights and make sure. I don't know if any of you saw the video that we did with Rennie Mullenstein. He was talking about a certain shape in defence at set pieces and how United used to line up. And I've mentioned it on here. I don't know if we spoke about it on the video or if it was something that we spoke about off the video. Paddock have started doing it since the restart. And in we had 4 games, we haven't conceded a set piece since we've been using it. I think it's great for our team. I think it'd be even better if I had a couple more players over 6 foot, but my team's full of midgets. I really like it. Someone DM'd me and said, Leeds are using that thing that Rennie spoke about that United used to do. Very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. How happy am I for the club to persevere with someone devoid of any tactical anything? Who are you talking about there, mate? Because Ollie's clearly demonstrated a very strong tactical understanding a lot of times. Critic says, feel bad for Mourinho. The man never loses a final. Well, hasn't he? I'm sure he's lost the final, hasn't he? I'm sure he has. Didn't he lose a final with us against Chelsea? Or was that under Louis? Pretty sure that was under Jose, you know. City and Spurs are the only big 6 teams not to drop points since the ESL announcement. Honest thoughts, are we getting Sancho, Haaland, or neither? I think Sancho more likely. I don't think Haaland's likely. Thoughts on introducing salary caps to the main leagues? If it's done, if it's done via UEFA as like a qualification criteria for the Champions League, you might have half a chance at it sticking. Otherwise, people just aren't going to do it. What was my original career plan when I left the service? Didn't have one. Did I always want to be a presenter? I don't necessarily want to be a presenter now, to be honest with you. I've just sort of found myself doing it. Can I not just do a pre-order for the green and gold kit? Yes, we probably will have to do a pre-order for it. But let me speak to the unnamed manufacturer tomorrow, and we'll maybe have some news on that by the end of the week. Do I think that the reason for Ollie leaving what do I think the reason is for Ollie leaving the subs so late? I don't know. Am I worried Pogba leaves and we don't recruit well in the summer? Yes, I am. Do we need sponsorship? Who are we talking about? This channel or the football team? The football team does. Well, this channel does as well. If you're interested, email Mitz. Would I rather have Sancho or Rafinha? Ooh, do you know what? It's not as clear cut as I would think that, actually. Rafinha's very good. I think I'd rather have Sancho, though. Are we winning the Premier League next season? No. Relax. Football aside, how do I cope with having tinnitus? I don't. I have to have music on and stuff on all the time. Otherwise, I feel like I'm going out of my mind. ETA of the green and gold shirts will be out. Let me speak to the manufacturer tomorrow. I was led to believe it was like realistically a 6-month process, but it's not really a 6-month process. It's a 6-month process if you want to make sure you do everything in terms of like getting your photo shoots and all that sort of stuff sorted. It won't be 6 months. It'll be... I'm hoping that we'd be able to get them out for July, really. But I'll speak to him tomorrow and see what the script is. What's for tea, Steve? I haven't thought about it yet. What do I make of Avram Glazer's no comment interview with the Mirror? I haven't seen it, but I guess that was the crux of it, wasn't it? No comment. Fuck that guy. Fuck him from the beginning and fuck him now. Do I think the Glazers will sell up? I think everything that's happened this week points towards that could be a possibility. And I've got a sneaky suspicion that the reason the Glazers pushed so hard for the Super League is probably because it was in their business plan from minute one. And I think if that's no longer on the table, how are they going to pay that debt off? And I think that was their plan, to pay the debt off of that all along. So maybe that's the one. Why were Leeds so defensive today? I think probably because they got an absolute spanking last time around. Just one sec. Al, are you waiting for me? Al, you waiting for me? Has Will left my keys on the desk there, or has he fucking took them? You had to borrow my keys to get in. Oh shit! Can you text him and ask him where they are, please? Thank you. I think Belotti would be cheap alternative for Haaland. I don't think he'd be cheap. Looking at what we was looking at in the news the other day, I think he's going to be like 80 million. Would I take Phillips? I don't think he's world class. I think he's an improvement though. Spurs are going to win, says F the Glazers. I kind of like it if they did. It'd be funny, wouldn't it? Any suggestions on how to get into football data analysis? Oh, DM me on Twitter. I've got a link. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I think it's called Friends of Analytics on YouTube. It's got like a whole thing on there. All right. Cam's left his blood checker in here. See you tomorrow, Flower. Ollie's selection was surely with Roma in mind. If we beat Roma this week, I think all's forgiven from this game, isn't it? Will we be buying players in a closed season? No idea. What are the Elton John songs that I know? Candle in the Wind. Rocket Man. I'm Still Standing. Sorry, I know that's not the most in-depth Elton John songs discography, is it? Rumours are that United are coming to Malta for pre-season. Would the lads at Paddock come as well? Oh, I wouldn't mind coming to Malta. Malta's beautiful. Any essential books on football to widen my knowledge? Yes. Soccernomics, start there. Any word on reported rumour extension for Ollie? Well, there was a rumoured extension. Oh, comments have just disappeared. Sorry if I ain't got to yours. I'm just going to have to start again at the bottom. God damn it. Can Bielsa be successful with a top team? Yeah, I think he can. I don't think he's had the opportunity at a top team. That's the problem. With the talks of the club selling up and Kroenke saying he has no intention, is it looking more like that it is the Glazers? It's also, you got to think that United are news, aren't they? If the club just, it's not the club, so if any journalist puts out, oh, the Glazers are selling, you're reading that shit. Do I think the EFL should permit all loan players from Premier League for clubs lower league clubs? I'm conflicted on that, because if you're trying to build a culture of a club, having players on loan that you know aren't going to be here next year makes it really difficult to do any sort of planning. And I think the loan system's good, but the people who are involved lower down the pyramid go, Premier League teams need to stop hoarding players. That's a phrase that they use. I don't necessarily think it's about hoarding players. But maybe I'm wrong on that. Any idea why Rennie wasn't part of Ollie's coaching staff? Get the impression he would be up for it. I don't think he's been asked. Simple as that. What player gets a stack tune next at Old Trafford? Would have said Giggs until this week, and maybe we'll just leave that one out for a little minute. For me, it'd be Eric. Should be, shouldn't it? What's the meaning behind the green and gold? The green and gold harks back to supposedly United's first ever kit, which was the Newton Heath green and gold kit. We had a very popular kit, 92-93 by Umbro, which was become iconic. We've never used them colours before or since in the modern era, and people loved it. And the green and gold campaign really sort of took hold in like 2010 as an anti-Glazer kind of movement. But the genesis of it goes back to the Newton Heath days. Now, the funny thing is, the actual Newton Heath original kits were white with a blue sash going across, like River Plate, but with a blue sash. But that's never really taken the imagination, has it? Because I guess there was never an iconic kit like that United have had. So, really interesting that the green and gold thing have come up with that sort of thing. I think it's crazy, but yeah. Someone saying Vidic statue. Do I remember the poster of the green and gold when they all had the old time mustaches and that? Yes, Pinch Weasel says that. Yeah, I had that on my wall. I remember that. Now, here's a thing that's disappeared. Blokes selling posters outside the ground. I ain't seen one of them for years. Probably 4 or 5 years at least since I've seen someone selling posters outside the ground. Maybe I'm at the wrong part of the ground now. The way I come in is different to where I used to come in. But yeah, I used to see that all the time. I remember I used to be buying them all the time. Worst United player I've ever seen. It's got to be someone who dipped in and out on it for like a game. That's really hard to answer. Where can I find the United retro kits? I don't know. Butner was pretty bad. You're not wrong. Rooney won't get one because he never really connected like Cantona. Yeah, and realistically, he should have, shouldn't he? Statue to Alex, he's got one. Bellion, was he? See, Prunier, I can't even remember that much of Prunier. He was shy, let's have it right. But yeah, I really can't remember too much of it. Righty then, I'm going to bounce. Let me know in the comments right now. We haven't got anywhere near 1,000 likes, have we? But are we having it for the Paddock? Do you want to see the highlights? Anyway, if you are in and around the Manchester area, trials are happening every Tuesday for about the next 10 weeks. 6 while 7:30 at Turn Moss in Stretford. If you think you've got what it takes to come and play for Paddock, come along to the trial and prove it, basically. I'll go and bang out the Paddock highlights from today. Let me know in the comments on there. The Q&A sent you. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Laters.